Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Cargo. We're here picking up right where we left off. After the last fight, our forces were within range of this base, and they ended up getting blockaded. So, we have, I think, about 8 Kiev Phantoms, 7 or 8 of them, as well as 2 of our melee craft. And look at this Liberator Cannon. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. This thing is absolutely massive. Seems to be an APS railgun, completely encased in heavy armor. It's got some shields on the front of it as well. It's absolutely massive. It's got engines down there as well, of course, because it's a railgun. It looks like it also had some laser components, so it probably has a little bit of munition defense on it. We got some houses, and then we got this Omnitaurus over here, as well as a pretty big missile turret. We've got a single fighter, as well as a bit of a helicopter, and is that what I think it is? That is what I think it is. So that is a whole bunch of nukes, and it looks like they are actually separate vehicles. Alright. Anyway, yeah, we've got a pair of Rolling Cinder. I've already given them the command in the tactical menu to go after this Liberator turret here. I have a feeling if they go after anything else, they're just going to get blasted, and I kind of wonder if it's going to land a shot, or if they're going to get in range. It seems like it's having a hard time. Oh, it fired. It fired, but they're still very much intact. I think it may have just hit the ground right next to it, not actually hit the craft itself. Looks like now that they're in range, the end of the barrel actually goes beyond those tanks. I don't think it's going to be able to hit those. This, of course, is the Rolling Cinder. I wanted to say Thunder. It's not Thunder. It's the Rolling Cinder. They're doing a pretty good job of stopping this thing from firing, I guess. But all things considered, this is taking quite a while. You know what? We might just go ahead and capture this. So here we are, a little later. I've decided to go ahead and capture this. It's incapable of hitting us, and it's kind of just a stalemate going on right now. Our DPS will kill it eventually, but it's pretty slow. Just have to get in here and find out exactly where the AI is. I broke a piece of heavy armor, and I think it's going to be behind here. Yep, we got some stone, and there's the AI. Go ahead and blast this compartment. And then we're going to go ahead and withdraw this so that I can dissect it later. A little while later, we got a flame tank moving up on a house, and oh, it just got nuked. The house got nuked too, but that flame tank is gonzo. Alright, let's see how the Kiev Phantoms are doing against the Omnitaurus. Looks like 2 of them kind of just exploded. Didn't see exactly what killed them. They keep landing hits, and it looks like a lot of those weapons aren't even aiming. We've definitely disabled it. Slowly chipping away at it. Looks like we just hollowed a gun on its right side. But this fight over here is going pretty slow. I guess part of the reason I tend to not to use too much EMP is because even when you win the fight, it kind of just looks like this. Like, either you win it in the opening volley, and the enemy craft just goes AI dead, and it feels kind of cheap, or you disable everything on the enemy craft to the point where it can't fight back, and then it's, like, still 95% HP, and, you know, you're kind of just waiting for it to happen. Speaking of waiting, I got impatient. We're going to go over here, we're going to blast our way in and see if we can't find the AI. I believe by this point we've also lost another couple Kiev Phantoms. I think that large missile launcher in the back is actually able to hit our fighters. Gotta be said, the interior design of this thing is rather pretty. We got a lot of empty space here. And I noticed something that, like, oftentimes people, I see the same sort of comment a lot about how the AI factions kind of disrespect the volume limit. Most of the space and armor in this thing is kind of wasted, so I really don't feel bad staying within the volume limit for myself. Just because, you know, it might go 4,000 or 5,000 over the volume limit, but, you know. A little while later, we got this missile turret still trying to blow up our flame tank. I think we've lost all the Kiev Phantoms. Yeah, we've lost all the other forces, so we'll go ahead and end that wave there. Try to get this second wave of forces in range in time, but they were not there in time for that first round, so the second wave of the assault begins now.
Targeting.
Gonna go ahead and see if we can take out this turret. Looks like there was a tank that got in range to sort of back up this base. I think most of the anti-air capability that they had at the start of the last fight was on that Omni-Taurus and a smaller turret that got destroyed. I think I'm going to go ahead and split one of the cinders off to this tank over here, so that we don't friendly fire too much. And good damage. That turret will be destroyed fairly quickly. Let's see, and it looks like we destroyed that third building that was back there. I think that was the small missile turret. This tank looks like an AA tank. It's actually one of the better designs they could have brought for this fight. But I don't think it's been lucky so far with its hits. Now it's got a flame tank on top of it, so... Big hit on our tank. Looks like we've disabled that one. Maybe AI did it? Maybe? No, it's still in there. Okay, never mind. It is dead. Alright. Cool, 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 cool. Looks like we blew up one of the houses in the meantime, and there's just one house left. Oh, man. I do love myself a good melee tank. They're very nice. Very nice. Alright, immediately following that battle, we had an Lacrity Swarm from the Twin Guard. Go ahead and close distance on one of our armies. It's picking a fight, so we're going to go ahead and take this fight now. I think we've got, we've got 6 Pikes, and we've got 4 laser tanks. I'm not quite sure how big the Lacrity is. Let's take a look here. It's just a little fighter type thing. Well, this will be over quickly. This is exactly the sort of thing I built the laser tank to fight. Pretty good fire coming out already. Looks like we got 2 shooting at the left one, 2 shooting at the right one. Left one already seems to be losing control. It's going down. Far left one is definitely struggling. Oh, and it's hit the ground. Rightmost one, not long for this world. And the other one has decided that it's done with this. It's seen enough of its brethren die. It's fleeing and it's turning around, and what is it doing? I feel like this is a terrible plan. Man, the drone host getting exploded over there on the right-hand side. And yep, that burst, well, I suppose the last flame is now gone. I tell you what, I've fought a lot of these swarm hosts so far, and it does not get old watching them explode. They have a tendency to die magnificently, and their flares fire out the back and then go forward, and also don't do very much against the weapons I'm using. Anyway, after that first round, we had another Lacrity Swarm out to the south that attacked a group of 8 laser tanks. This one will end very quickly. Looks like we already got 1 down, 2 down. Took some pretty big looking hits on one of our laser tanks. Looks like 3 down, and last one over here on the left, and he's gone. Just the swarm host left. And there we go. Yeah. Do love me some laser tanks. Other than that, looks like we got a Halo Swarm here. Now, I haven't faced this one too much. Gotta say, I really like the eyes, but it looks like they have a neat little gun and a pretty nasty missile swarm. And then let's take a look here. Over here. Is that on its spin block? No, it's not. It's just a munition warner out the back. Probably for flares. Let's see, how are these things doing? They're firing a lot of missiles, so I would not be surprised to take some damage here. Looks like those 2 are caught on each other. We're doing a lot of damage, but surprisingly all of them seem to be alright. It's up. Okay, 1 is down. Wonderful. So we've done quite a lot of damage. Some of our laser tanks have stopped firing, so I'm wondering if there's some damage over there. Looks like this one is just doing a bit of a Tokyo drift. Oh, there we go. Oh, the action shot. Nice. They do have 3 laser barrels, and they tend to only fire out of one of them. Because there's a limiter on them. I want them to stay near full energy, so I could probably change the turret a little bit to make it lighter. I probably should, but I really love how they look. Anyway, we've kind of downed one of them. Looks like, oh, we have an upside down laser tank over here who's being hollowed out. Okay, that one is pretty out of the fight. Looks like we've got another one that's landed upside down. Looks like most of his armor is still intact, so he'll make a strong meat shield. Especially since I think I saw some EMP charges swirling around. Looks like one of them exploded. Still got lasers going all over the place. That one is grounded, but it's still shooting. Props to him. Looks like he's not doing any damage, though. If I had to guess, I'd say he lost his engine. Shot the gun off of that one. Seems like it can't quite see anymore. Okay, it's gone. Oh, and that was the last of them. All right. Up next, we got a Steel Empire Nibel wandering a little far away from his friends. Looks like we should be able to pick it off. Looks like we got this little simple weapon 30mm miniguns all over the front, placed directly behind those little portholes. Looks pretty cool. I also see a whole bunch of missiles on this, as well as some chaff and some flares and some disconnected steam parts. All right. If I had to guess, I'd say some of those missiles are probably interceptors. Although, I don't know, they all fired right at the start. Let's see, what kind of damage are we doing? Barely any. Looks like. Yeah. Alright, the flame tanks have latched on and they're pulling themselves in close. I might have to turn off that... Okay, never mind. Up next, we had a group of Pikes intercept a Steel Empire Omni-Taurus. Now, really quick, just taking a look at the Pikes guns here. These are 500mm direct input feed guns, so ammo inputs directly on the autoloaders. These things are synchronized so that they fire one at a time. So it's kind of like having just, you know, like one gun that fires one shell every second. They're a little slower than that. It's like every shell 1.2 seconds, something like that. It also looks like the Omni-Taurus had a couple of sub-vehicles, one of whom is in many pieces on the floor. I don't quite think that's intended. Judging by the tooltip, I'm guessing it was a plane. I say was, because it's not anything. It's a pile of scrap now. But the talk about the Pikes guns for a second, because they should be very good against a target like this. Looks like they are absolutely shredding the whole front of the Omni-Taurus. Now, the hill isn't really helping. It's got to be said. There's like a gentle slope to the landscape, so we don't have direct line of fire. But they kind of arc quite a bit. Oh, and the missiles are definitely landing. The hill is helping us as much as it is hindering us, because this guy doesn't have direct line of sight either. So it's kind of just, you know, everyone's firing over each other at the hill. Quite literally a game of Battleship. After a while, since we were struggling to hit each other, I decided to put these guys into patrol mode, give them an order to sort of cross the hill, so that we could more directly shoot at the Omni-Taurus. We're still landing pretty consistent hits with the top guns, as they have better line of sight, and the missiles for sure. But the 500 mils are definitely having a hard time hitting. Of course, getting closer is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Seems like his cram cannons have missed, though. He's not going to get too many chances. One of the big things about cram cannons is usually their reload is their biggest drawback. They're amazing when they hit, but this guy is only going to get to land maybe 1 or 2 shots. Well, he's only going to get to take 1 or 2 shots, so he'd better land them both. Yes. If he wants to do any serious damage. Oh, looks like that missile missed. It is not good for him. One final volley from our missiles. A lot of good hits. I love these 500mm HESH shells. They're so great. Yeah. Took a little bit of damage on each of those, but all things considered, not too much. After coming out of that fight, we were intercepted by a twin guard centaur who wants to take on a whole bunch of our Pikes. And the centaur, I can't imagine this going very well for him. Let's just take a look here. I like the shield design he's got on his left arm. It's very exposed APS. I don't know. Seems kind of counterproductive. I would have covered that up way more. But I like the idea of a mech that's holding like a shield out. Maybe putting like decoys and stuff to attract missiles. That might be one way to make use of it. But yeah, this whole thing seems very weak to explosive damage. Now, I don't have too much explosive damage. But I don't think it'll... Oh my god, we shot its head off. I don't think it's really going to matter. I think this thing is also pretty weak to Hesh, as well as explosive damage. Most Twin Guard craft are pretty weak to Hesh. They're very compact, which means they don't have too much room for error, and oh my god! That was a rather swift and violent doom. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for episode 11. I want to give a quick shout out to Human Being, suspicious name, for leaving this wonderful comment on several different videos. It's truly a fantastical comment. And hey, if you're new to my channel, you probably found it through the YouTube suggestion feature, which means this legendary spud might be the whole reason you know about this channel in the first place. So thanks to that guy. And just a reminder to like, comment, and share if you want to see more FTD. It helps the channel do well, and it makes my day when the video does well. And also, just a quick reminder of the sub goal. If we hit 100 subs by the time we finish this particular campaign series, I'll be publishing all of the blueprints that I used for it up on the Steam workshop, and a quick preview for the next campaign. I've been working on my own sort of personal faction to take into the next campaign. I've been looking at a couple of different custom campaigns. Anyway, that's all I got for you for now. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Feedback for me in the comments if you got any. I'm always open to it. I guess I've kind of been forgetting to mention that in videos, but if you have any feedback for me, let me know, because you know, I hope people enjoy the videos. And if they don't, it'd be really useful to me to know what I could do better. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching. This has been fun. I've been Zacargo, and I'll see y'all soon with the next episode of From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire.